Welcome back to Mik'd Up. As we mentioned before the break, we have Michael Anderson, creator, owner, designer, mastermind.
Consigliere.
Stop using big words. I do not know. He had to.
It's been on the damn ticker. Like, we get it. He's
Yeah.
been wanting to say this so bad. He just couldn't let it just run across
Couldn't
the
let it
screen.
go. Michael Anderson, thank you for coming on the show. Baton Rouge native. Do you still live in Baton Rouge?
No, I live in Austin right now.
You live in Austin. Nice. A little more creative thinking out there, right? A little artistic.
It's kind of forward thinking.
Yeah, exactly. Like, think about, you get a little bit more inspiration probably than being out here. But lifelong LSU fan, obviously. You are the guy behind all of this cleats that Dylan Cruz and Paul Skenes and all those guys have. How did this start? What went into this? I'd imagine that this has kind of been a progression for you. Give us your story, man. How did you get into this?
Yeah, man. And thanks, guys, for having me. So I started doing art. Well, I did art growing up. So actually, my grandmother lived in Lafayette.
Boom, love that.
So, yes, sir. So I used to do it for the summers with her. I'd paint whenever we'd go over there for a few weeks at a time in the summer. And then, there were other artists in Baton Rouge that kind of got that ball rolling. And then
Who are some of those guys?
So like Jacob Zumo.
Yep.
Yeah, my guy.
Catholic High guy too, right?
Yeah, I think he was Dunham too, but
Okay.
at some point.
That's how you know you're truly Catholic High if you get kicked out.
Oh, he didn't say that.
Yeah, you have to transition.
Yeah. Be careful with that.
What?
That's
So then in 2008, or actually in 2014 or 15, I did a painting for Leonard Fournette and his daughter. So that was
Nice.
like the first thing post high school that I did. And I realized how much access there was to LSU athletes. I mean, he'd just be sitting out in the quad, right?
Right.
And then I talked to Odell about doing a pair of cleats, but at the time LSU wasn't like letting people do stuff like that. They couldn't take gifts, and I'd never really done it before.
Right.
So in 2018, whenever Wade Sims was killed, I had some mutual friends with Skylar Mays.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd reached out to Skylar. I knew that was the exact time. I was like, we got to do this. So we did a sneaker that he got to wear, and it was like the last game of the season against Vanderbilt to commemorate Wade Sims. So that was pretty cool, and that was the first one that I got to do.
Nice. And then after that, it just kind of progressed. So that was 18. And then did you, like, every year after that, or when did you really start saying, you know what, I think this is something that I'm really going to, like, try to hone in on and grow?
Yeah, so the next year I did some cleats for Jamar Chase, and then just building ever since. I worked with Jaden Hill, worked with a lot of the LSU guys, worked with the Denver Broncos because I was living in Denver at the time. And then really just, word of mouth and networking with a lot of the LSU athletes, and been able to do a lot of those since then.
And so now with baseball, you have Dylan Cruz and Skenes, right? Do you do any other cleats for any other guys on the team?
Yeah, so on Friday I'm giving a pair of cleats to Tommy White and Trey Morgan as
Let's
well
go.
for the Supers.
nice.
How does that work, right? So, like, what goes into, like, the cleats? So you talk to them, they contact you, or you contact them, however y'all get there, and you say, hey, look, I want these types of cleats. This is what I want on them. Do y'all, like, go back and forth, or do you say, hey, this is the idea, do you like it? And then they kind of put their input.
Yeah, so it's mostly, a lot of them will have some kind of idea of what they want, and then they'll kind of let me do my thing. The ones that I did for Skenes with the K-Lady sign and the Powerhouse logo, he didn't really know. He asked me to do something that was going to kind of bring the team together, that was about the program, not just his season, but then, the legacy of LSU baseball. So that's where we got the K-Lady signs and the Powerhouse. A lot of times, I don't really show the design until I give them the cleats, because I just want that element of surprise whenever I give it to them. But I definitely will collaborate with the athlete, and they'll give me certain details that they want on it.
When you're getting these certain details, and then you're kind of given the freedom to kind of just freestyle and do your thing, where do you draw the inspiration from? Like, what thoughts, what past experiences, what comes through for you?
You have to understand, I'm the least artistic person in the world, so I have no idea.
No, this is the most artistic room you've ever been in.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's a great question, and I think actually that's what separates me. I mean, there's a million guys that can do cleats, right? But what separates me is, I'm not really just trying to put out as many cleats as I possibly can, right? I'm taking small, special, intimate projects that I want to work on, and really it just from the last 30 years of my life, man. I grew up in Baton Rouge. I'm an LSU alum. Both my brothers went to LSU. Both my parents went to LSU. So, what other artists can't do and can't recreate is the last 30 years of my life growing up as a Tiger fan, right? I mean, I bring it back to whenever I was really small and really little, and we would stay at the team hotel for football bowl games, and we're just waiting in the lobby to meet the players and get pictures, right? I mean, I've got a picture with basically everyone growing up.
Right.
I think I even have one with you, Mikey.
Let's
back
go.
in the day.
Let's go.
But, I remember where I was in 09 when you guys won. We run outside the house, we're running around the neighborhood, ripped our shirts off and everything. So,
That's so great.
I think it really is just, being a diehard Tiger fan the last time. And, I'm working with a lot of different universities and pro teams and whatever, but the LSU projects are the ones that mean the most to me.
So from Baton Rouge, now live in Austin. I mean, that's got to be the most interesting city to live in when it comes to rooting for LSU, especially if you fall into a bar for a game or something. How's that? I'm sure you get a lot about that.
Well, and actually, so I live downtown in Austin. There's a bar called Rustic Tap across the street, which is an LSU bar, right? So that's perfect. So they have a lot of the games on and stuff. But I actually grew up going to summer camp in East Texas, so I kind of got a little bit of that whenever I was younger.
Yeah.
But I'm don't tell UT, but I'm horns down. So.
I like that. There you go. That's how it should be. That's how it should be. So, are you strictly like cleats and shoes and sneakers now, or is it more like, hey, you still do some stuff like on canvas and like different canvases or whatever? Like, how does that all work with you? Like, what's your what's your like ambitions? Like, where do you want to go from here?
Yeah, so I definitely still do stuff on canvas, and I do custom cut pieces of wood. I did a project this past October with the rapper The Kid Leroy. Got a bunch of cool stuff planned. Trying to do a painting for Jack Harlow this summer. So
Nice.
And then I'm also going to be putting out T-shirts and hoodies and a clothing line under the Boot Up Customs umbrella, which I'm going to start doing that this summer, which really excited about that. And then as far as where I want to take it, a lot of it is I want to do NIL stuff, right? I want to get as involved with the players as I can, and really I'm in the relationship business, right? So I've got all these great contacts, and I meet people, when they're at LSU, like Dylan. I'm going to be working with Dylan, the rest of his career, which is really cool. So I do want to get involved with NIL and hopefully be able to, to make money with my brand, but then also help the athletes make money as well.
How did you get involved with Dylan, right? Did you just message them? Did you have a mutual friend, or just one of those things like, hey, bro, I can do these cleats for you, let's collaborate?
Yeah, so with Dylan, I think I reached out to him on Instagram at the beginning of last season. Obviously I knew how good of a player he was, and what's crazy about Dylan is he's even more special of a dude.
Great
right?
dude.
He's like one of the best guys that I've met.
Can't be overstated.
No, right.
Yeah, and it's it's small things that I've been able to see kind of behind the scenes that not everybody else has seen about things that he'll do to take care of people.
Like what? Can you give us some examples?
Yeah, so there's an artist in Baton Rouge that my buddy Joseph Turpin did a painting for Dylan, and in the painting he actually put my cleats, the custom cleats that I did in the painting. And so he sent it to me, and he didn't really want to ask for a favor for me to send it to him, but I'm like, well, of course I'm gonna send it to him, right? So he met up with Dylan at the field, and Dylan brought a pair of game worn cleats and signed them and gave them to him.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right, and took pictures with like his nephew, and just like little things like that he does, just to go above and beyond. And a lot of guys that I've worked with when they're NFL or they're big time, they just kind of expect stuff all the time. But with Dylan, you can tell that it means a lot to him, and we've got a great relationship, and like I said, looking forward to working with him in the future.
Man, I wish we were able to do this kind of stuff when we were here.
Right?
We
That wasn't a
hey,
thing.
black and white cleats, bro. That's no custom cleats, no nothing.
Well,
it was the same way in the big leagues too for a long time, so that wasn't really a thing.
And when I was in Tampa, they used to have a rule when I first got there, especially in the minor leagues, that you had to have it has to be majority black. So I went to the Arizona Fall League my first year, and my cleats had the white toe. They made me shoe polish them and paint it black. Brutal.
You got Friday Night Lights?
Brutal. Yeah. No swag.
It's the thing.
Terrible.
The White Sox were strong about that too. Like it was like a black cleats. Like couldn't really do white. You couldn't do white cleats. Like it wouldn't even let you do it. The only team at that time that they were letting do it when I first got in the game was Oakland. Nobody else could do it.
Well, that's another thing. It's just perfect timing with what I'm doing with NIL and with the way that all worked out.
Now, if people wanted to are you offering it to just athletes, or somebody wanted to contact you and buy a pair of custom cleats or custom, sneakers or whatever? is it possible for somebody to get from you or no?
So
Are you
I'm
still
not
doing it by like request only?
Yeah,
Or, like,
I'm not really taking commissions right now, and the cleats take between 18 and 24 hours to do, so it takes a lot of time. So really, what I'm just doing right now is taking the projects that are going to help me move the brand, and then also working with guys that I really want to work with.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, I will have stuff that's available for sale to the public, not cleats specifically, but other stuff because I have people all the time ask how can they support the brand or help me or whatever, and it's really that way, and then obviously like engaging on social media and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, you say from 18 to 24 hours, but that's like actually, like putting the work into it. As far as like inception of the idea until finished product, how long does that take?
Yeah, so it's longer, right? So I spent a lot of time designing everything on my iPad on Procreate beforehand. So I'm not even counting that, and then there's a lot of prep work and all that kind of stuff. So I can. Right now, I'll have a bunch of orders at a time where I can do all the prep work and everything and kind of assembly line it. But yeah, it's up to 30 hours on some of the cleats.
Is it just you, or do you have any help?
Just me right now, man.
Wow, that's impressive.
One man band, baby.
That's impressive. How you do it, dude? That's how that's impressive.
Well, and that's the thing is I don't really want to hire anybody else to do it. Now, as far as like fulfillment of orders and that kind of thing, sure, I'll get a little bit of help.
That's completely different.
The cleats that you're gonna get, the cleats athletes are gonna get, they're coming from me, right? So I'm gonna create all the designs, I'm gonna paint them, I'm gonna do everything.
Damn. What can we do for you? Like, how can we help you out? How can we help promote this? Because I like this kind of stuff. Like, I like people from Baton Rouge doing big things. We've talked about this I talked about it the other day. So one of my best friends is Matt Fury. He's an extremely intelligent person. He's a doctor. He's an orthopedic surgeon. Went to Harvard, first of his class, whole deal. And like, when people are from Louisiana that went to LSU, you want to be able to bring them back, like the talent back. And the talent's not just athletes. It's people who are doctors and lawyers and artists and all these people, and you want them to be able to come back to Baton Rouge so that they can build Baton Rouge to be what it is.
And if they can't be back, at least have involvement.
Exactly, right? So, like, I love trying to be able to push this and promote it. So, like, whatever we can do, man, to help you push it, like, I know you're not fulfilling orders, but, like, I'll pay for some custom sneakers, and I'll just have them sit right here on the desk the entire time.
We could definitely do something for the show.
There you go.
That's what I would love that.
And then like what you're saying, like I have so much state pride, right? I've been all over, and there's nothing like Louisiana. That's what keeps me coming back, and that is why my brand is Boot Up Customs, right? I want it to be Louisiana and LSU centric because that's home. That's what I care about the most.
No doubt. Like, there's a reason why people that I've played with that aren't from here are now from here, if that makes sense, right? Like, Anthony Ronaldo's from New Jersey. Far, far away from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. His home is Baton Rouge, Louisiana now. Micah Gibbs from Pflugerville, Texas, right outside Austin. His home now is Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Sean Ochinko from Miami, Florida. His home now is Baton Rouge, Louisiana, right? And I can go down the list of all these other people that are not from here, but have made their life here, right? And that tells a lot about what Louisiana is and the people that come from here. And so yeah, man, I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's a special place for sure. And actually, when LSU baseball went to Austin early in the season for the Round Rock Classic, Dylan and Tommy, a couple of guys, came over to my apartment. We made a big art piece out of the cleats that Dylan wore. The thing is crazy. And I was talking to him just about the journey and why he came to LSU and didn't enter the draft or whatever. And he kind of said the same things, and he didn't even know it yet. But he wanted a place to this support system, and if he is in the minors for a little while, just have a home base and all these people that support him. And like I said, Louisiana is a special place, man.
No doubt,
definitely,
no doubt.
Well, it seems like that's what's kind of kept you here, like especially for somebody like you that. I can resonate with this. They were obviously athletes, but they feel the same way about LSU to where they didn't look at anywhere else except for Mikey trying to go to Alabama. But other than that, like whenever you get your feet set here, and I feel like we're relative in this term.
He was about to go to South Carolina. Save it.
Finish your statement.
We'll get into that later. I didn't know that.
He told you that 5 times.
I told him that, but I'm glad he didn't remember. Just go ahead, keep burying him.
It's in there now.
Yeah, just keep burying him.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, Bama and South Carolina are two different things. South Carolina's not even on the register.
That's not true when I was there.
For people like us, where it's like you're almost a fan first, And so to be able to come back to LSU and be able to ingratiate yourself here and be able to make almost a lane for yourself with LSU, it seems like that's what you're more interested in. It's not almost about, of course, you want to grow the brand, but it feels like you want to help LSU first.
Oh yeah, I mean it all comes back to LSU, and even I live in Austin, which is a lot
But
closer.
you're here right now.
It's a lot closer than Denver is, right?
Yeah.
That's for
Yeah.
sure. So it's a quick flight or a 6.5 hour drive, so it's not that far. I'm here all the time. My family still lives here, so it's always good to see them as well when I come back. But yeah, the end goal is I want to be a part of the program. I want to be a part of the athletic department. I want to help with recruiting. I want to help with NIL. I just want to be around it, right? I just want to go to the games and have a good time with all that.
So basically, what you're telling me is you've built a business that you want to be pipeline
Into LSU.
through something that hits near and dear for you, right?
Yeah, I mean, and growing up, my whole life revolved around LSU sports. I went to every single LSU home football game since I was 9 months old until I moved to Denver.
So what brought you to Denver?
Work, just trying to pay the bills, man.
That's it. So like, is being an artist and drawing and painting, is that all like that's your like? It's not like your side hustle. Like it is your deal. Like this is.
So I don't want to call it my side hustle because it's what's most important to me.
Right.
I do have I'm in sales, so I do have a job.
I get that. Trust me, I understand it.
Yeah, but actually it's a pretty cool schedule. So we're on the blitz model. So I work in the solar industry. So we work for 10 days at a time, and then the other 20 I've got to devote to my art business.
Oh wow.
So
That's impressive.
Yeah, I'm lucky. It kind of fell into my lap. I studied engineering at LSU. Wasn't really a fan. I was overworked, underpaid.
Thermal?
And I was trying to paint, not be an engineer.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I got some friends trying to get into the solar business.
It's crazy, man. Honestly,
I bet. I mean, he's trying to like install panels and do all kinds. It's crazy. It's a crazy deal.
It's huge in Colorado. They've been doing that for a
It's huge. I
minute.
mean, it's getting big everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like their farms and stuff and like solar farms, right? And that's what it's called. They're solar, not farms, but whatever. They have this whole thing of solar panels. I don't know how it works, dude.
Don't overextend yourself.
This isn't my forte. If it needs to be insured, I can do that.
You're no Joe Rogan right now.
I can insure it. That's about all I know. I don't know anything else.
Turn them towards the sun.
Yeah.
yeah. And then one last thing that I wanted to say before I forget. So I got to go to the games this weekend, and then on I guess it was on the Sunday game that had the rain delay. So we were against Oregon State. So we're down 3-0. Mm-hmm. We have the rain delay. They start playing again. The cleats that I did for Dylan for that weekend were the cruise missile 2.0. So we did something similar last year, and then I've gotten a lot better. I had a cooler idea, so we did it again this year.
Is that Dylan?
Don't tell them about my damn
Yeah,
shoes.
right.
3.0 coming soon.
So I'm sitting up in the suite. Shout out to my guys Zach and Steve Cody for inviting me to the suite.
There you go.
And Dylan comes up to bat, right? And Pearson's on third, and then he hits a home run, a cruise missile in the cruise missile cleats.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Right. It doesn't get any better than that. I got
Yeah.
goosebumps talking about
And
it.
he went hyped. That was the most hyped I've ever seen him on the field, which was awesome.
Yeah, he doesn't show too much emotion on the
Yeah.
field, but he's rounding first base. He's beating his chest. I mean, and the pictures the LSU baseball posted are
Fire.
so sick, right?
Yeah.
So that at the end of the day, like that's what I do it for, right? Like those kind of moments right there, and seeing Dylan come through. He's the best player I've ever seen come through when the team needed him, and that's what changed the game. Just for my cleats to be just a tiny part of that in the journey of the season just is really special.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
Yep.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's how it should be, man.
That's how you create a community, man.
No
It's
doubt.
not like he hasn't played a day of LSU athletics, but he has a sense of pride because he has involvement in it. No matter how big or small someone else may see it, and that's what matters the most, man. Because what you do should matter to you, right? At the end of the day, you would hope so. You would hope you were doing something that actually moves you and actually pushes you to go higher than something that's just kind of paying the bills.
People see you or whoever else that has passion about something that they do, like they gravitate towards that, right? Because that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants to be passionate about whatever it is that they're doing, or they like to see somebody do things that they are passionate for, and that just kind of gravitates good energy towards you. So that's I'm fired up for you, man. I'm a fan, obviously, of your work. I'm a fan of you now that I've actually got to meet you. And man, like I said, anything that we can do to ever help and promote, and I'm gonna take you up on us collaborating, trying to
Let's
get
do
some
it.
shoes for the show so we can. I'll pay whatever I do. I just I'll pay here, put them on for you. Dude,
Booze Cruise isn't small.
huh?
The Booze Cruise isn't small.
What do you mean the booze cruise?
I mean, maybe some Booze Cruise commission shoes. I'm just saying. Maybe cleats.
Some booze cruise, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Maybe
just saying. There's more than just the cruise missile out there.
he likes it because he created the booze cruise. Actually, did you come up with the name? You did. You did.
LLC.
You did. He came up with the booze cruise, but the whole reason is because Lloyd likes to drink, and so every time he hits a home run, Lloyd chugs a beer, takes a shot, and it's the booze cruise.
That's
The booze cruise.
That's easy to make. Just do a Homer Simpson on them.
That's it. Well, dude, like I said, anytime you ever back in town, you want to come on the show and shoot the shit with us. Anytime you want to go, we'll go grab drinks or whatever. Like I said, we'll talk about what we can do to help promote, what you got going on. But man, like I said, we're a big fan. We appreciate you coming on the show, and hopefully, are you gonna be here next weekend? This weekend?
Unfortunately,
No.
I got to get back.
He's got work, dude.
I
10
know.
days on.
But I will say, and likewise, guys, and like I said, I grew up watching you guys play, so that was pretty awesome. 2009 baseball season meant a lot to me as a
too.
kid. So yeah,
It was pretty good to us.
that was awesome. But yeah, I would love to do all that stuff, and like I said, I appreciate you guys having me.
Man.
And then we'll have some. Trey Morgan will be in some Mardi Gras themed cleats.
Oh, okay.
The Super Regional.
There you go.
And then Tommy White, we did some Tanks themed cleats.
Ooh, I like
So,
that.
giving it to him on Friday. So
Hell
look out
yeah.
for those.
He's a
Oh,
little
yeah.
bit of mojo going his way.
That's what we need.
Love that.
Use some tanks.
Love that, man.
Yeah, man. That's awesome. Can't wait to watch them. Appreciate you coming on the show, and we'll stay in touch. We're going to take a minute break, get Michael out of here, and we'll be right back. You're watching Mik'd Up. We'll be back to you in 1 minute.